What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Road Talk. Here at Road Talk, we will be diving into chapter 1046 of One Piece. And guys, this was a decent chapter. I did enjoy it just because there's one panel, and I'm gonna get into all the reasons why later on in the video. But first, I'd like to take the time out to thank you guys for tuning in to this episode of Road Talk. And I appreciate all the time and the support that you guys give the channel, all the likes, all the comments. It really does mean a lot, and it keeps me going and moving forward. But guys, I know you guys want to get into chapter 1046, so without further ado, let's go! So really, this chapter was centered around finishing up those last little things that we need to start finishing up before we end this arc. And just like most stories, we can always have a story that just always about the climax of the story. We need that rise in action, and we need that rise in action to be solved, so when we get to the climax, everything, the fall of action can be perfect. And here is a perfect example of getting those little things out the way, because we have the fire to deal with that's still going around in Onishigima, and it's burning everything, and everybody's separated from one another. We have different groups in different areas. We have levels and different people in different levels. It's really chaotic at this time, and everybody is trying to figure out how to survive this devastating fire that's going around on the Shigima. And some people cannot handle the fire right now. Like the saying is, if it's too hot in the kitchen, get out. And if it's too hot in the kitchen, get out the kitchen, because you're not made for it. And that's exactly what Beppo is doing right now, because he's an animal, okay? He's like a polar bear, and polar bears do not do very well in hot climates, aka Chopper. When he went to the desert, he was not in good shape to be doing anything. And same thing with Beppo right now. He is super hot. He can't move. He got people carrying him, and it's too hot in the kitchen for him, so he got to see his way out, and he got people that's gonna carry him out to the finish line. Funniest thing though this chapter was Brook. When they had Brook and everybody around Brook that doesn't know he's a corpse saw Brook, and they was like, oh no, I feel bad for that guy, thinking that he got burned all through the fire. But Brook was like, no, I'm just like this always. I'm made out of bones. So I think that was probably the funniest thing that I had seen in this chapter. It definitely gave me a little chuckle and a little tickle. So did see people fighting amongst themselves, trying to get out the fire. We see Apu and Epipi. I probably gonna get mean for that, Epipi. But we saw him talking to Apu, and Apu was like, hey, he was fearing for his life, and the only way they was going to survive if one of the big numbers are going to break down this wall. And he was telling the number that they're like, why are you so tall and you not and big and like a giant, and you can't even use your strength? You are wasteless, basically pointless. And that made the number like very aggravated, especially with hot climates. And everybody know when summertime come up, a lot of things that start to happen in summertime. More people get a little irritated. So like I said before, the title should be called, if it's too hot, get out the kitchen. Because that's exactly what's going on right now between Apu and his number friend. I don't want to really pronounce that again. So, but anyways, yeah, they are beefing, and they might have a falling out between amongst themselves. Then we also have the other people that's in this chapter that is trying to apply all the knowledge that they can possibly can. Shout out to Chopper, because this is something that I didn't even think about the whole fire ordeal. Why couldn't they use Zeus clouds and just make a big rain cloud with that? Chopper thought of that idea, and he asked Zeus at that moment, but Zeus was like, will get burned by these fires. These fires are too big for me to handle. But I thought that was a good idea coming from Chopper. We also did see Usopp. He is trying to manage the best way he can, because he still has this honor and this privilege of trying to keep Kiku and Kinemon alive, because he promised that to Izo. but he's shooting out these plants that shoot out water, but those plants are getting crisp as soon as they start to spray out water. So that's not working real good at the moment. So it does, at that time, it did look like it was pretty devastating. They wouldn't be able to survive. There was a point in this chapter as well that Killer was stuck between on the stairs, and it was both ends of the stairs was coming with fire. They didn't have nowhere to go, and it just was looking dead out. Just bad times, right, coming up for the people that was inside the fires. But we do have our handy dandy ninja Raizo that came to save the day. Raizo wanted to be useful. Unlike the last time, there was a big commotion back in Wano. He felt like he was useless. He felt like he wasn't serving Oden right at that time. So from that point on, he sought out to always be prepared for any situation that's coming up, like another fire incident that we got here on Onishigima. And that all goes back into it, and it's a great thing that we get this as well as Raizo, because it was some of the things I just really couldn't understand about Raizo's powers. But now it's great that we got this chapter, because Raizo, in order to stop the fire, Raizo had to use a water scroll, and everybody from Naruto knows what water scrolls can do, or water jutsu can do. They just have this impactful water transformation. You can have water dragons out of nowhere. You can even have it flood the whole place that you're at with some water, and that's exactly what Raizo did. But this isn't Naruto, so how does Raizo get water inside a scroll? And it's common sense, actually, if you're thinking in Oda and One Piece way. You just gotta store it. So that one time that Raizo was on Zoe, and that when Zonisha was giving her and himself a bath with his trunk, Raizo got his scroll out. It's One Piece, guys, okay? Raizo got his scroll out and started collecting all the water that was falling from Zoe at that moment. So that's how he was able to store large amounts of water in that scroll. And I was kind of right in this way that I said that Zoe was going to Zunisha was going to use his water to spray down on Shikima, but he gave the water to Raizo, and then Raizo uses the scroll, this big scroll that makes a lot of water come out the scroll, large enough to flood the whole Onishigima. And also, but Raizo could not have did this without his right-hand man or somebody else that knows good water techniques, and that was Jinbei. So with all the water that came out the scroll, the tons and tons of water that came out the scroll, he needed somebody to push that water from it, and that's when Jinbei used his fisherman karate and to send it to every level basically on the Shikima Island. So after levels and levels of the water getting pushed by Jinbei and the water coming out the scrolls from Raizo, basically looks like that little scene with fire that's on Onishigima, one of the problems that we had to get solved before this arc ended, look like it is coming to that end. So that is great to see. We also see that some of the people that was about to get burned by the fire were saved just in the nick of time. So that is all great and dandy. But guys, if you thought that was the best part of the chapter, I got something else for you. It deals with Momonosuke. Okay, now that's not the biggest part, but I gotta talk about Momonosuke just real quick, because Momonosuke has a vital part still, and that's one of the little small things that has to be finished before this arc can move forward. Momonosuke has to do something for Wano. If he doesn't do nothing for Wano, he's not gonna feel like he's a shogun. By doing something for the people of Wano, then they will become to, just to fully accept him right away. They will praise him, and then they will treat him as a shogun. Well, and that's why he has a vital important part in this arc, because when Kaido gets defeated, those dragon clouds that Kaido is using to hold Onishigima up and have it floating will disappear, because Kaido will be knocked out at the time. So who has to come in and save the day? I believe that would be Momonosuke. Momonosuke has to create his clouds, and just like Yamato says, Yamato is already predicting this right now. She already has a feel that Kaido will be defeated. So she was like, Momonosuke, you got to get this together. We need you to save the day. But also, there's also one other point I want to say with Momonosuke. I really truly believe that Momonosuke has additional ability in his devil fruit. And the reason why I'm saying this because just back when CP0 was saying about I'm glad that devil fruit really never came out, because I just think it has another power alongside of that. And I just think that power is probably restoration. Probably I really think it's going to be able to revamp anybody that's injured, regrow like all the plants and everything that was torn down that Kaido did and Wano. I believe it has some additional abilities that will be probably shown in the upcoming chapters, because Momonosuke has to play a super important part of Wano since this is his country.
For the moment you've been waiting for.
The fight between Kaido and Luffy continues. And the fight between Kaido and Luffy continues, and they're going in a back and forth fighting. We could see Kaido is giving Luffy his own form of Gatling gun, and it's going through Luffy, and you can still see that Luffy is matching, he rubberized and he's matching against his bat. And you can just see that it's a still going back and forth fight. It's starting to get that serious nature that I was yearning for last chapter. It's getting back. It's not more goofy, it's more of a serious. They trying to get into this fight so they can win. But also during that time of fighting with Luffy, Kaido is asking Luffy, who are you? It's like something is not adding up. Luffy is completely kind of changing into a different person right before his eyes. And he was like, this is not like the same person that I was kind of fighting. Luffy responds back like Luffy does best. I am Luffy. I'm going to surpass you and become the king of pirates. And I think One Piece fans in general, when they hear Luffy says that, they just be like, yes, yes. About when Luffy says that. And then we also do at the same time get a inside head thought of Zunisha, and Zunisha is like real happy that she can hear, or he can hear, Joy Boy's beating the drum again. It makes his or her heart beat very happy at that moment. And then it also says that Zunisha said all my hopes and dreams into this person. So it was cool that you can, if when Zunisha, a person that's 800 years ago, comes in and says that holds a lot of weight. So you know the payoff has to be big time for Luffy. And Kaido starts to talk to Luffy and tell him, oh, finally you awaken your ability. Awakening is what happens when your mind and body catches up to your powers. And those are certainly ridiculous powers that you have, Luffy. And right when hearing this, what I immediately thought of Awakening, and after last chapter, I started to think, if Luffy is a paramecia, and paramecia is similar to in forms of Doflamingo when he awakened his ability to be able to use this environment into strings. Okay, if Luffy was a paramecia, which he's not anymore, he's a mythical Zoan devil fruit user, but his paramecia, if Luffy was a paramecia, his abilities would be very similar to Doflamingo. It will be able to use his environment to be able to be rubberized or touch people and make them rubber, stuff like that, right? So, but Luffy's not. He is a mythical Zoan devil fruit user. My question is, do they have the ability to awaken anything if you're a mythical devil fruit user? When Kaido is talking like this, it feels like Kaido is saying that he has some awakening abilities too, because he's talking about it just feels like Kaido has some more in his bag after he's telling Luffy about awakening, because he never said, no, this is my awakening form or anything like that. He was like, oh, see, it's good to see that you awaken your abilities. Kaido has not shown his awakening form, and he's a mythical Zoan fruit user as well, and we don't know what it is. Why do we think that Luffy has awakening his ability, since we just learned that he's a mythical zone fruit user. Okay, you might say that Luffy is using to rubberize Kaido at that time. But I also could say that the same thing about Kaido. Isn't Kaido using Dragon Clouds to hold up a Onishigima? And hasn't Kaido went to 3 different forms as well too? So we don't actually know what it is. That maybe that's just the power of the mythical devil's fruit user. Well, since Marco is a mythical Zoan devil fruit user, is his awakening to heal people, or is it just the form to be able to change it into a phoenix? Like, it's some things right now that has me very curious. And if they are able to awaken their devil fruit, if they have not already, what would that actually do? And guys, like I've been telling you before, I believe Luffy will have the power to bend people's wills. I just what I feel like. Luffy will have the power to bend people's will. Whoever gets around Luffy, he'll be able to make them feel how he's feeling, and that is joy. But my other thing as well too, I feel like Luffy also has another ability. He's rubber, so whatever you do is back to you. So I feel like in some type of way he can match that. So if you have lightning, he can make lightning and back to you. So it's like, I feel like he has the ability to basically be creative and do whatever. Because he's rubber, whatever you do to rubber goes back to you. So I feel like that is like I feel like that will be Luffy's awakening form. I don't know about Kaido's. Maybe Kaido is already capped out with his awakening. But just this is food for thought, words for thought. Just put that in your head. Like, just think about that. While you finish watching this video, of course. But that's just something that was going through my head. Right before we see this chapter ends, we see Luffy looking at Kaido in the air, and it looks like he's about to hit Kaido with a new attack. But guys, the thing is, Luffy is not gearing up for no gum no. He's actually in the clouds, like I kind of hinted before. He's grabbing lightning in his hands, looking like Zeus. He looked like he's about to just grab this lightning and start chucking them at Kaido. And why he's able to do this power at this time, because if he is a mythical zone devil fruit user, joy boy, what is going on? Like, what is all his powers are included with? A lot of people are saying that since he fought a nail, he already showed he had lightning fighting it against Shiki, and he just had like capable of lightning. And my thing is, they probably right. And Luffy has the power to do many things. With his Red Hawk, would he be able to use more like fire techniques? Like, would he be able to do some like Red Hawk whip, like use his legs as a like? I'm very curious about how the future of Luffy powers will go. And also, the last thing before I let you go, it's something that I always kind of thought. Luffy always got poisoned by every single thing. If it wasn't fish, if it wasn't Magellan, I don't know where. Whatever poison is that, you can bet and can put any money on it, Luffy probably will touch it at some point of that arc. So Luffy has did that, and I feel like that would probably come back, probably even in a couple of next chapters, that Luffy would have some type of like poison gum no punch mythical devil fruit. I don't know. If you see Luffy do that attack, you heard it first right here, Road Talk. And guys, once again, it was fun to do this breakdown. I give this chapter probably 8.5 because I really did like the Luffy grabbing the Thunderbolt. It kind of really paid off of all the gags and all the Looney Tune things what happened last chapter. So that was great to see. And also, we did get things moving towards the end of the arc. So I give this chapter 8.5. Oda, keep up the great work. Take as many breaks as you want. Just please keep giving us that great One Piece. Until next time, my friends, my Nakama, my family, peace.